Today, we have an exclusive interview with Jack Rezner, a childhood friend of Chris McCandless, the man who ran away from his normal life to live in the wilderness and rely only upon himself. Jack Rezner will tell his side of the story of what it was like being friends with Chris. Thank you, and enjoy. Mr. Jack Rezner, it's a pleasure to be with you this evening. Now, first question. What was life like as a childhood friend of Chris McCandless?
Well, thank you for having me. It was a very interesting experience, and it was a friendship that I'll never forget.
Alright, well, tell us about it. How did you guys first meet?
We were both in the same high school, W.T. Woodson High School, and Chris and I, we were also in the same Algebra 2 class. I'd often see him sitting in the corner. I personally didn't have that many friends at that time. I only had like a small group, but I figured that I should start talking more. So as soon as I went, I don't know what it was like. I don't know exactly what it was, but there was something about him that gave off a drifter type of vibe, and it kind of made him seem pretty unapproachable and not like open for me to talk to.
All right, well, on that topic, what kind of person was Chris, characteristic-wise? How did he act around you, at least?
Well, he was a really determined kid, and it seemed like he was that way because of how much pressure was put onto him by his father. He was also a very athletic kid. In fact, he was a captain of the cross-country team as well. Whenever an obstacle got in his way, he was never the one to complain. In fact, he took what was coming for him and worked even harder. That's the main reason Chris was inspiring to me. He loved to be a hustler.
Oh yeah, and speaking of hustling, how did Chris perform in school? Do you know what type of student he was like?
I don't really know a lot about his academic performance in high school, and as well as a lot of his other classes, but I know that he excelled and participated significantly in English class. I know this because I remember at the end of every quarter, we would go over our grades and what we earned for that portion of the marking period. And Chris was in my class for English, and almost every class he would raise his hand, at least twice, to add his input and opinion on something we were discussing. I feel like Chris was an extremely intelligent person, and he had a real passion for literature and its deep meaning, but eventually tossed it in the trash.
Interesting. Are you aware if Chris had any other ideas of a potential career, and has he ever discussed any of these with you?
He found himself interested in anthropology as well as history. However, he never really utilized those passions for his own benefit when it came to a career.
Where did Chris's love for the wilderness come from? Did you play a part in that?
Well, there was a lot of tension put on Chris and his family, mainly by his father. Because of this uncomfortable setting put into place in Chris's house, he enjoyed whenever his family would go on camping trips and hikes. When I hung out with him, we sometimes went on hikes together, or we went biking, which was also very fun.
And did those hiking trips you guys had sort of build more of an emotional bond between you guys as friends?
Oh, for sure. I learned a little more about his family's life that way. He opened up to me about his parents and his growing disinterest and dislike for them. Of course, being Chris's friend, I was really concerned for him. You know, this outside life Chris had that I really didn't know about could be affecting aspects of his life that were out of my control.
And how did Chris's departure into the woods, along with his death, affect you?
I felt like it was all my fault. I probably could have done something to help him, to encourage him to stay on the right path. It just felt like one day something just clicked in his brain that made him disregard and ignore all the talent that he had. He had so much hope, he was hardworking, he has so much potential that he could use to succeed in life.
Thank you guys for watching, and have a great night.